TCR Brierley, police squad.
Why have you brought me in here today, sir?
You've been stealing a living, son.
Who's laid out this allegation, Matt?
Mr. Rob 444-659-4345 on the Racing Post YouTube comment section.
So what's the issue?
Listen, son, I've got to look into these allegations. We can do it the easy way, or we can do it the Rod way.
I want to do it the Rod way, then.
This gentleman here says he wants to do it your way.
Oh. I've got a few theories for you.
Here, go on then, give me one.
Constitution Hill's gone at the game.
Alright, yeah, fair enough.
Field of Gold isn't a natural miler.
Okay, yeah, I think the Sussex Stakes probably said that.
Grey horses jump best.
What's this geezer on about?
Grey horses jump best.
That's delusion. Take me away, officer.
Not be wilders. You're arrested for stealing a living, my son.
Good evening again and welcome back to In the Know, brought to you by the Racing Post. Glorious Goodwood continues in inglorious weather as we start to try and work out how ground the soft will be tomorrow. After today, you thought you'd seen it all. You really thought you'd seen it all, but a flag start in a Group 1 on the flat at Glorious Goodwood in the middle of July. What a world, what a whirl, in fact, as Whirl won the big race in essentially a whirlpool. Probably paid quite well on the whirlpool. But what a ride, and clearly the best horse in the race we thought before. But yeah, you get a 6 lengths head start, it does tend to help. Elsewhere, Clive Cox continued his record in the Richmond of either winning it or finishing last. Best Secret was smashed off the boards in the first, then drifted out and won. Again, another bit of an SP dance there. And elsewhere, what else do we have? Merchant, presume, named after the Merchant of Venice, given how much he enjoyed those rivers and downpours that came down today. Yeah, a lot more to talk about as well. A lot more to talk about tomorrow, of course. Already non-runners coming through, so we'll have to see how those cards hold up. But also have to see how the draw holds up in the Golden Mile, which used to be the best draw bias race in the calendar year, but has now completely turned on its head, and we'll see if that continues tomorrow. And we'll also see if the Aussie sprinter asked for and needed that run last time out, and whether she can get the job done at a track where she was unfortunate last year. All that and much, much more besides. Get in touch on the chat. Good evening to everyone who's watching. Good evening to people who put the comments on the section of the past few nights, including Warm Eggs. Hello to you. You'll be watching this about 4 a.m, I imagine. Lover Lummox. He put another one up to today as well, and plenty of others who are also in there as well, including Dimp, who reminded us that horses who run very well at Royal Ascot but don't get the breaks often come to Goodwood a few weeks later and get the job done, as we saw in the first couple of races. And on the chat, Destiny Sounds, Music Mike, Hugo Blewett Monday, Darren Walker, JJ13, Word to Mother, Lucindage, and many, many more. Like, subscribe, get involved, naps in capital letters. You know the score. Anyway, let's introduce the panel for tonight. The door's been revolving again, and as Robbie Wilders has been banged up for the foreseeable future. It is DCI Rodway who joins us, and you've been forensically going through the card tomorrow looking for heavy, good to firm, good horses who handle everything.
Yeah, how soft is the ground is.
How soft is the ground?
I got it right this time.
You got it right this time, there you go.
Yeah, it was difficult today, wasn't it? Wow, it started on fast ground, and then it was kind of slow, and then it got slower and slower, and then they were coming up the stand side, then they were walking home.
Yeah.
Oh,
should be fun tomorrow.
Fathom it out.
It's good. More rain forecast. I mean, this is about the 10th time we've had this conversation during a festival whereby we start to pull our hair out, and I mean, jockeys were even coming over this near side before it had rained this week. Yeah. So, and Stewards Cup draws, a lot of the best horses and a lot of connections chose low, which isn't necessarily going to work out very well, is it?
But it usually is, isn't it? I mean, it's usually amazing. But then the last winner came up the middle. Yeah. You see that?
Yeah.
The last winner came right up the middle, and everything on the stand side was beaten about 4 or 5 lengths. So I have got no idea where the best ground is.
Who does?
Or where the ground best is.
No.
But I don't think the jockeys know.
No, I don't think they do. As for today, is that Group 1 form going to stay in the form book, or should we just sort of scrap it now?
like the jumps race,
Yeah, exactly.
where the starter just raised the flag. It seemed like I was watching it and I thought, oh, he's not going to let them. And then suddenly, because some guy just went like that and they jumped off, and like Ryan Moore had a 3-length head start on the best horse in the race, and he won by 5 or 6 lengths. Never really seeing another horse. It was a strange race, wasn't it?
It was very strange. And I mean, to be fair, I think the only thing that stopped more controversy was the fact that the favourite won. I think if it had been an outsider that stole it, and then after yesterday's shenanigans, there'd have been uproar.
Yeah. Well, there would have been, wouldn't there? Especially if it had been an outsider that jumped off in front the way that Ryan seemed to be able. But why is it that Ryan Moore always seems to be like on the ball and everyone else seems to be half asleep?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe the other horses, that was the way they were going to be ridden anyway. But it certainly looked to me like World got a head start.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Tom Segal sat at home enjoying today's proceedings in quotation marks. Yeah, it's a funny old game, as they say.
Yeah. Listen, I see the fight didn't want to start. Bedtime stories always held up. We sort of knew what was going to happen, but we didn't expect it to happen in such a magnitude. I don't think. It's weird, wasn't it? It's. Listen, we can sit here and we spend a lot of time bigging up racing because we love it. But sometimes you've got to say it as it is. If it was a football match, I think Goodwood's been a bit of a damp squib, and I don't mean that just because of the rain. We've had horses getting injured, we've had weird results, and we've had flags. It's no one's fault, but it just feels a bit off this year for some unknown reason. Hopefully, the last 2 days won't be, because I think I've always thought the last 2 days are the best days you've got for punters, because you have the Golden Mile, which used to be a draw race, and you've got the fresh strip of ground, and you've got the Stewards Cup races that give punters a chance. Whereas over the start of the few days, today, all the punters, all the fabs won, didn't they?
Well, this is what I was going to say. After all that, we said all that, but to be fair, best secret. We were saying, you're talking about ground, this, that, and the best secret beat my Harbour Gaya, the 2 form horses in the race. The best form in the Richmond was the Coventry, and Coppell won that. Merchant won the Gordon Stakes, absolutely handled it fine. You had the the 5 furlong race. The 3 course distance horses finished first, second, and third. So it was only really sort of the last race that was a bit of an odd one, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that was a Goodwood race, wasn't it? Yeah, as I say, they were perfectly gettable. All the winners were, it was one of those days which was rubbish for a price-orientated punter, because the favourite in the box in the first 4 races, I only did 4, won every single one of them. Yeah. That's never going to be any good for me.
Although, admittedly, I think if best secret had been 7-2, 4-1 or whatever when you were looking at a Coppell 5-1, you might have looked at it totally different. But anyway, never mind that. Let's not go too much into hindsight. What did you like about today? You've got to be impressed with the way that Merchant went about it, given he's been stepping up out of Handicap company. Clearly, some of the horses in that race hated every second of those conditions, and he got the job done.
Well, he's tough, isn't he? That's the one thing that we found out about him. It was hard to do what he did. If you looked at Whirl and you looked at Wimbledon Hawkeye and you looked at those horses that got a run down that far rail in that time period where it was absolutely bucketing down, it really was hard to do what he did. So, yes, you can't go overboard upon the form, can you, by any stretch of the imagination? But he did exceptionally well to win. So, yes, he's definitely a positive. I think Whirl is superb. I love her. I think she's great. She gets better every run. It didn't matter whether if Ryan Moore had started last year, it still won. I think she's really good. Best Secret did well again to win. It's funny, isn't it? I say this every year, don't we? It's such a pace nice at Knife Edge Goodwood. Like yesterday, there were loads of front runners winning. Arasheba and a few of the others. And then the first race, the first 3 were last 3 turning for home. So it's just where you strike for home. That's the crucial thing at Goodwood. It's such a pace nice at Knife Edge track. It's just hard to know. How races are going to be run and how they're going to unfold. But he was good. He was certainly good. He looks like a group horse. And as you said, Coppell looked, I don't know whether there was a big draw advantage under the rail or not. I don't really care. I love the way he hit the line. I love what he did throughout the race. And he looks a really top-class 2-year-old going forward.
Yeah, he looks an obvious middle park contender, doesn't he? And I think actually, weirdly, the one horse I would be looking forward to, I thought it was a lovely if you ignore, you ignore the start, you ignore the shenanigans, all that. It was a lovely run for See the Fire, given that York is clearly her next step. Ascot to here, just to keep her ticking over. Third in a Group 1. I think given that start, she wasn't exactly knocked about. She wasn't asked to really catch up with the winner in the home straight. I think Connections will be happy with the way she handled herself today.
Yeah, and she travelled really well, didn't she, for a long way. I didn't ever think she was going to beat Well, because Well was just totally in control. But See the Fire for a minute did look half dangerous, and like you say, she came from a long way further back than a lot of the others, didn't she? So I thought it was quite a promising run, and of course that run when she did win at York earlier in the year was, well, it was at the moment anyway a bit of an anomaly in her form, wasn't it? Like that run at York was amazing, wasn't it, compared to everything else that she's achieved? I think anyway. She's got some good form, but that York run is.
But Kirat yesterday, horses for courses. Some horses they just they perform half a stone better at certain tracks than others.
Yeah, there will be a reason, but we just don't know it, do we?
No, because we can't.
We can't ask them. We can't say.
But you can ask them. You just not going to know the answer.
No.
Anyway, right, let's crack on, shall we, to the Friday card. Like I said, it is officially heavy going, so in many ways. So let's try and figure out what we're going to expect from tomorrow. I'm just having a look at the. But then, the times. I'm not sure the times the last couple really are heavy going. But anyway, look.
There's not loads of rain forecast even now, is there?
I don't think it's going to. I mean, slow by 4.83, 6.8. I was looking when Magical Sunset won the was it the Oak Tree Stakes? I think that year when she won it, and when Desert Hero won the Gorner Stakes, they were 8, 9, 10 seconds above standard.
Yeah.
And that said soft ground. So look, I don't think it's going to be absolutely bottomless.
It went from like officially good to officially heavy in about half hour, didn't it? Today it was very weird. Like usually it goes good, then good soft and heavy, but it was good and then it was heavy.
Yeah, it was, and it'll probably find its way somewhere back into the middle. The Goodwood Handicap starts us off tomorrow. 2.5 miles the distance. Kind of Localsh is 4-1. Agagio 11-2. Oxford Comma 13-2. Mordor 13-2. Align the Stars 13-2. Sheridan 13-2. Tashcan 8-1. Zinc White 8-1. And then the couple of outsiders are Boulders Brass, Vino Vitrix, Bashful Boy, and King's Reign. This is a fairly quirky and unique race, although not that unique after today, Tom, given that it's normally a flag start, but it warmed up today with the Nassau, of course. But yeah, plenty of horses who, weirdly, this will have been their target. The kind of Localsh, your Agagios, even potentially your Oxford Commas, given that horse's record on soft ground. It's a funny old race. What did you like?
What did I like? It's not nothing really. I thought it's interesting. It's interesting, isn't it? Because you read through the comments of the trainers, and about 7 of them are saying we're hoping for soft ground. We're hoping for soft ground. Well, they weren't going to get it until about when they declared, and they've all got it. So it's interesting to it's no surprise now to see Carl of Localsh, Agaggio, money for Tashcan and Zinc White, and and Mordor's in there as well. I don't know. It's not a race that's got my they start in front of the stands. The problem with this race is that I've sort of got a negative about it. And for about 3 years running, my horse refused to race because it's a start in front of the stands, isn't it? And a couple of them refused to race, and I thought, well, I'll give this one. I'll give this one to the boys. Let them have a crack. Personally, I like Carl of Localsh. I thought he ran really well in the race last year. I think the ground will suit him. Looks like it's running into form. I think Tashcan up the top, Trash Can, as my pals used to tell me to call it, is definitely interesting if he's fit after his long break. And Zinc White, who ran really well here earlier in the season and then didn't run any race at all last time, could easily bounce back. But I don't know. If I was forced, I'd probably go for Zinc White, I think, just in the hope that the ground, as you say, the ground didn't appear that bad, but I think it will be softer tomorrow than it was at the end of the race. I think they were squelching through it to begin with. Got slower as the races went on, I thought, and then maybe tomorrow it might be sort of hard work ground. So you're going to have to stay. I'm hoping that Zinc White does it, but I wouldn't be confident.
All right. Yeah, I don't normally like this race, but Agaggio absolutely loves soft ground. I like his jockey as well. and his one defeat on soft ground came in this race last year. And I watched it back. The furlong pole, he's still in second or third. A half furlong pole, he's still in second or third. But it was a much bigger field, and they went a much stronger gallop than I anticipate they'll go tomorrow. So I thought, he's in cracking form. But I watched it back, and at no point did I think, he didn't stay the trip. He just got tired in the final 100 yards.
Yeah, he's very tough, isn't he? Very tough and genuine. And like you say, Ashley Lewis takes 7 off. I think he's quite good value for the claim, isn't he? Moores will have no doubt had this race mapped out for a long time because he's a real Goodwood specialist, isn't he, Gaggio? And the ground's come right for him. He loves soft ground. I don't think he's got anything in hand of the handicapper, but you could probably say that about a lot of these.
Yeah.
They're all exposed. They're all old stayers who have been around forever. Some of them are old lummoxes, as our mate Segal would say. They've been around for. We know them. I know them as well as I know you, Ross. I've known them forever. Carla Blockhouse, she's been around for about 3 years, hasn't he, as a stayer.
In this race again, just keeps coming for the same sort of races.
Well, he loves soft ground. His best performance for me was when he absolutely hosed up one day at Salisbury, but he hasn't won since. So that was ages ago. I can't even remember. It was 2 or 3 years ago at least. If it is really testing like Tom says, right, Zinc White is an absolute machine on soft ground.
And Ian Williams is in rattling form.
I saw him win, it must have been 2 or 3 years ago, because he had a long time off Zinc White. And he went, I think it was at Sandown one day, it might have been. And he absolutely bolted up that day. Is that right?
Rafe Beckett, 2021, won by 7.5 lengths.
2021, so 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
And he is a machine on soft ground. And I had him top rated last time at Beverley. I think he ran a small field race. I had him top rated, and I thought, I had to send him top rated because he was top on RPRs. And I thought, if the ground was soft here, this also be a certainty, but it wasn't soft. And now he has finally got his ground. And if it is as testing as Tom says, then he will go close. But
that's possibly the key form line, isn't it? Because Gaggio beat Spirit Mixer, who won at Newcastle, Sheridan, who's running here, Almahit, who won as well, and then Zinc White. So that's possibly your key form line, those 3 horses.
Yeah, and like the Spirit Mixer win in the Northumberland Plate's a bit of an example of how these staying races go. Like you almost don't have to be ahead of that handicapper because none of them are. It's not like you're getting a rapidly improving 3-year-old coming in here or 4-year-old coming in here.
Although I said that, but the only horse that fits that bill is Oxford Comma, who she is also very good in soft ground, 260-day absence, mark of 101 off the back of an absence, 2.5 miles soft ground is a lot. If it was anyone else other than Rafe Beckett with a filly, I might question it. But
another one who's got a chance. I thought Align the Stars had a huge chance. Not sure about the ground though. This was this morning when I was looking at this race.
Yeah.
Super Sumi is on for the Johnston team.
Yeah.
Never ridden a winner for Mark Johnston, Charlie Johnson, the Johnson Yard, whatever you want to call them, Mark and Charlie Johnson when they were.
Yeah.
But he did ride Lazy Griff in the Derby to finish second for them. And Align the Stars won at this meeting, didn't he, last year? The summer handicap, the one that's on Saturday. I think he's £1 lower here. And he's actually not been running that badly, has he? Like, he wasn't beaten far in the Ascot Stakes. He was less than 3 lengths behind. He wasn't beaten far in that race. That again, another exposed horse, one for the gutter one at Newmarket. Another hot race that was won by an exposed horse. But, I really fancied him. Like this morning, I walked in the office and I was like, this Align the Stars, I really fancy him. And then it absolutely tanked it down. I'm not a ground punter, as you know, Ross, but when it does come that heavy and you're not sure about it, it does just tinge.
Throws you off a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I don't know. That's what I'm saying to you. I don't know. Like I just made a case for 10 of them and I still don't know.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. We talked around that a lot. Like I said, I never have a bet in this race. I normally gloss over it completely, but I did keep looking at Gaggio. Like the Ashley Lewis gave Small Fry a cracking ride at Epsom, similar type, clearly targeted at Chester and then Epsom as well. And I think Gaggio will go well. In the chat, Diddly Dee, Zinc White, Farley, Richardson, and Sheridan is weighted to reverse form with Gaggio, says Destiny. Sounds.
Is
okay.
Mr. Pine Nuts there, Ross?
Basil?
Is Basil Pine Nuts in today?
Basil Pine Nuts, are you there? I don't believe so, not as yet. So somebody else is going to have to take the mantle of finest name on the chat. But Basil or anyone else with a good screen name, get involved on the chat. There might be a prize. The best name in the chat wins a cup of tea and a biscuit with Tom Segal. at some point in the future.
No, they don't.
If you can find him. If you can find him. Right, the next race is the Thoroughbred Stakes, a mile here for just 4 runners now. And this Group 3 is it's often an interesting little race. It still could be an interesting little race, assuming that those 4 horses turn up. Of course, the thing everyone likes to say about this race is that it was won by Baid a few years ago, so it can be a springboard to greatness. It has also been won by a lot of horses whose springboard clearly broke after this race, so there is that to bear in mind, but that is the 3-year-old group races of this nature. Cosmic Year is even money. King of Cities 11-4, Diego Ventura 9-2, Segal's 11 is 11-2, and Charlie Appleby has clearly got his wellies on and walked the track at Goodwood and said no thank you for Spectacular View and Opera Ballo. So which means we don't get to see Opera Ballo round Goodwood in heavy ground, which would have been quite the sight. Cosmic Year was looking like his campaign was leading towards greatness himself, and I think on another occasion, if he hadn't been running against Field of Gold at the Curragh, he might have gone very close to winning a Guineas. But after getting beaten in soft ground last time and then the rain coming here, question marks.
Definitely. I love Cosmic Year. At the start of the year, he was my horse to follow. I was like, I can't wait to see this. I think he's going to be really exciting. Bred to be really exciting, isn't he? Passage of Time is his dam. Mm. She was top class, wasn't she? And he was superb at Sandown, and he was superb at Kempton, and he was brilliant at Newmarket in a really good time, and the race worked out well. And I fancied him to beat Field of Gold at the Curragh, and Field of Gold just knocked him out of the park, didn't he? He never got close to him, couldn't lay a glove on him. But he did still travel very well through that Irish race. Mm-hmm. And even afterwards, I thought he's so lightly raced, he could go on and eventually maybe be the best horse in this race. And then what happened last time?
Well, I mean, it's not I remember looking at this. I think there's been three Juddmonte horses have gone over for that race, been sent off very short prices, Chaldean being one of them, for example. There's another one a few years ago as well, but being battered out of sight. It was Colin Keane's, he'd been flown over for one ride at a track he'd never ridden before. He was stuck on the wing. I think you can put a complete line through it, but he's got very similar conditions tomorrow. Yeah,
very soft ground. He's very strong traveller, isn't he? Good turn of foot, real natural sort of miling type. And well, he deserves to be favourite on his previous form. It's just like that run last time out on soft ground would put me off taking very short price.
It's annoying because I think you probably would have put up the second favourite at a much bigger price had the other two been running. Would that be fair, or do you fancy him more now the other two have come out?
What, Cosmic Year?
No, King of Cities.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, no, I fancy King of Cities, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, Rodders. Yeah. Let's start that again.
Yeah, I fancy King of Cities, yeah.
But did you fancy him? Okay, right. Tom, just checking in. You all right, aren't you? You there?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, all right. Okay, you understood what I was saying, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fair
enough. So, Rodders, I'll ask you the question again.
Yeah,
do you fancy King of Cities more now Opera Ballo's out, or would you fancy him? Tell us what you think about King of Cities.
What was that?
King of Cities, Rodders. Tell us about him.
Right, yeah. So he was beaten by a really...
DCI Rodway, please that together.
Beaten by a really good horse, wasn't he, first time, El Merrick, or whatever it's called. And then they ran him over a mile and a quarter in Chantilly, and he wasn't good enough, but he still didn't run badly. Last time I bumped into Opera Ballo, who was obviously in this, and I think the question you were asking me, if Opera Ballo had run, would I still have fancied King of Cities?
That's the question. Yeah.
Got that right.
That was it. Yeah.
Yes, I think I would have in the conditions on soft ground.
Yeah.
Now I think Opera Ballo is a star. Again, it would have been a great race if it had been good ground or fast ground between him and Cosmic Year, two potential stars. And I think then King of Cities would have been a long way behind him. But on this ground, King of Cities has got to be a player, hasn't he? Because he looks like a strong stayer at a mile. Mm-hmm. He's obviously been 4 lengths behind in over a mile and a quarter in the French Derby, so we know he stays. We think he'll go on soft ground because he's related to Inisherin, who has got a win on soft ground. His dam was Ajmen Princess, who produced one of her best performances on soft ground. And now that there's 2 non-runners, this could be really tactical, couldn't it? And I think anyway, I could be wrong, but I think that Ryan Moore won't be messing about here. I mean, he's on a horse who we know stays a mile really well, and maybe wants a bit further. Yeah. And in these small field tactical affairs, there's only one person you want to be with, and if that's Ryan Moore going off in front, I think King of Cities will be very difficult to pass, Ross.
Yeah, and he's also got three horses who are pretty much, assuming nothing changes, guaranteed to be, or have been in their races, switched off out the back. So you're right, Ryan Moore could do a whirl and nick it from the front.
Yeah, and if it was a flag start, that'd be even better.
That'd be great, yeah. If we could just give King of Cities 3 lengths, that would be fantastic. Again, bit of disappointment, really, Tom, because I think we've actually got to what Graeme was saying, and I certainly agree with if you'd had Opera Ballo versus Cosmic Year and King of Cities, it would have been a really interesting matchup. What do you make of it now? There's just the quartet.
A little bit different from Rodders. I think Cosmic Year will like the ground. I think all season they've been telling us that they won't run him on fast ground, and whether that's borne out in the form book, I don't know. I just think something went wrong in France. If you stopped the race 2 furlongs out, he was going to win by 5 lengths, and he finished nearly last. So my guess is that something happened. I don't know what, but he just cut out too quickly for it to be any normal. It was just abnormal to watch it. I've watched millions and millions of races over my life, and I can't remember. Not many horses come cantering into the lead 2 furlongs out and finish last or near last.
However, Tom, you don't like to forgive a horse a bad run.
No, exactly, and that's why I'm with Rodders. I'd definitely be on the King of Cities against him because I think he'll love the ground. He's by Dubawi too, and I think a mile is his trip. I think, as you say, he'll get the lead. I don't know where they'll go. I think they'll probably still stay down the far side because it's all that new strip of ground that won't have been cut up. So I think they'll stay down there. And if Ryan grabs the rail and tootles off in front, I think he'll be hard to get past.
Depending on if I could predict how they were going to run, obviously it'd be great. But I do think Diego Ventura has been much better on these ground. He will definitely like it. He's run 3 times on soft ground. He won at Ascot. Could have won at Newmarket. It was that day where everything came down the rail and the Waco kid won. He was in 1 and he was down the middle, and I basically put a big note to it saying that was a massive run. And then at Doncaster he completely fell out the boxes, was hampered at the start and got beaten in the neck. So there's an alternate universe where he's 3 from 3 on soft ground actually, and
he's definitely not out of it. Him for sure. I was a little, to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed with him in France last time. I thought he'd almost win that. I gave him a pass for the Epsom run because they sort of got away off on the lead, and it was Sakara Sands who was second that day, who won the Oak Tree earlier in the week. So,
but have you seen? But the horse who finished 1 place behind him, Uthred, win a listed race by 7 lengths next time out.
It was a bit of a Mickey Mouse listed race, that, if truth be told. But you're right, the form has been given a boost, and he clearly proved that he stayed a mile that day because he hit the line hard. He won't get too far back with 4 runners, so yes, I definitely give him a chance. I think, look, you give all of them a chance. You really can. It's a tricky race. I won't be having a bet in it. I want Cosmic Year to win because I think he's the one with the most upside still by miles. If we want to see a really good horse, it'll be him, but I don't know. I can't back him after that last run.
Yeah, fair enough. And also in Sunderland, we might as well complete it. It says Segal 11, not mentioned and highly tried. And it says Ossie Murphy rides Goodwood well. So there you go. 4 runners
in front of King of Cities last time.
Yeah. So there you go, one for everyone. As we go to the Golden Mile, I handicap over a mile, as you would have guessed from the title. 20 of them run here. We've already got a couple of non-runners. Treasure Time is out and Longlie is out, and they are both engaged in theory in the much weaker handicap on Saturday over 9 furlongs. So again, we do have what is normally, or has been for many years, a very huge Skakuza. He's 5-1 though, with Tribal Chief all the way down at the bottom of the weights. 5th column is 6-1, Greek Order 6-1, Ross Golin 8s, Arasaig 8s, Dutch Decoy 9s, EBT's Guard is 10-1, and the bigger prices the rest. Again, loads of horses who you could half fancy in the conditions. I mean, Dutch Decoy is very well handicapped, has run well in this race in the past. Latam loves soft ground, Great Chieftain bolted up over course and distance. Theory of Everything loves soft ground as well. Afantico as well, I think he'll appreciate conditions more than he has before. Bo Pedro's got good runs in this race as well. So Yeah, there's loads of them. But I'm going to come to you first for this, Tom, and because it's a real comparison here. Again, you've got group horse already proven in a handicap is Skakusa, having to give lumps of weight to improvers down the bottom. So number 1 takes on 18 and 20 in the handicap. Are you, as Brucey would say, are you going higher or lower?
Well, I do think Skakusa's got a great chance. He's £8 well in. Sometimes I think that these top weights are underbet because people can talk about weight too much, and he might just be different class to them. The problem is where they're going to go. That's my issue with this race. I think people are thinking that they might come up the stand side. I don't. I think they'll stay down the far side on the new fresh ground. And if that fresh ground is better, which it might not be, it might be worse. But if it is better, he's going to have trouble from School 17 given the way he's normally ridden. Now, I know it happened last year. I just think that was an anomaly. Johan sort of got out and made the running. And maybe I'm going to get in this all wrong. But I think if you're playing very high draws, you're sort of dicing a bit with history a bit. And so I don't know. I love Skakusa as a horse. And if they all come up the stand side, I think he'll win. I have no doubts about that. I think he's by far the best horse in this race. But I don't know. So I wanted to sort of play it a bit sort of quirky, but unfortunately my quirkiness is I've now managed to find the joint favourite and a horse in Tribal Chief and Dutch Decoy, who was 20 to 1 about half an hour ago, is now 9 to 1.
Yeah, but Tom, don't worry, just take SP, remember what we were talking about earlier? Just take SP, they'll double in price tomorrow.
Yeah, unless they're called Novelista or Dan Tucker or whatever they're called, that start like 3 to 1, and I don't want to be on them. I don't want to be on you anymore, sort of thing. Those are my two. Just simply, Tribal Chief is just last year's winning trainer, brilliant record on soft ground, great form with Bullet Point twice. We've all seen what Bullet Point's gone on to do. Bullet Point's gone up a stone. This horse is up 3 or 4 pounds. A monster on really soft ground. If it's really soft, I thought he'd go well. And Dutch Decoy, just simply because he's best at. I don't know. I think I haven't seen the Racing Post ratings, but I would imagine Dutch Decoy is their nap or their top rated. Roddles will be able to tell me in this race because I think he should have won it twice. I thought he was really unlucky last year when he was beaten by Toyney's son, and then he was third in soft ground when Frankie rode him, and he got sort of in a bit of a mess the year before. He's in as good a form as he's been since then. He's got loads of form. He was rated 93 when he was placed. He's now rated 82. He's getting loads of weight. I just thought he'd go really well. But it's one of those races. We saw it in Goodwood in the first race today. When you're drawn in the middle and when you're stuck in the middle, you need so much luck. You know, that's why I think 20 and 22 have won the last 2 races or wherever they've been drawn. It's because they've actually just kept out of trouble. They've actually not had to go in and out of horses. And that's my worry with this race for those drawn there, which my ones are. You're going to need a lot of luck. You always do. But they were my 2. I think Fifth Column's got a good chance. I think Ross Golin's got. You go through them. You could go through them forever. But at least those 2 like the ground and have form on undulating tracks. So they were my 2.
All right, Rodders, did you have 2 against the field here for the Golden Mile?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us what they are?
Yeah. No, Thomas just reminded me that why this was the biggest draw race in the whole calendar. Not just because obviously Goodwood is a turning mile where they go into that bend very quickly, but also, as Tom's just said, they open up the fresh ground on Friday, which they have that dole out for the row, and basically the inside row is where the nice ground is. And it's a tighter bend, obviously, because they've taken the doles out, so it's much tighter. So again, an inside draw. So there's
the cutaway essentially disappears, doesn't it? So
yeah,
it's just
so the cutaway
so you don't get to. Yes. They don't get to fan out.
No, not like all week so far. If you're in behind, you get to that cutaway and everyone goes everywhere, and you can pick your way through. Yeah. That doesn't happen on Friday and Saturday because they take away that rail, and then everyone gets in traffic, and it becomes bumper cars like we've seen a million times at Goodwood. So
is it a potential though if the ground is bad that they? Because again, part of the problem there is everyone's rattling at such a pace, and they're looking for gaps. If it slows them down a bit, if it spreads them out a bit, if it strings them out a little bit, will there potentially be more gaps later on? Because again, on fast ground, you're desperately looking for a run. On heavy ground, you might get a few more drop away and there might be a few more gaps. Or is that nonsense?
Probably nonsense.
Fair enough.
But you might be right. But anyway, that explains why this was such a big draw race, apart from the last 2 years. Although I think one of those years when there was a high drawn winner, it still did ping out and get to the far...
Johan, he came,
Johan pinged out, got to the far rail.
And everyone looked at him and went, "Oh right, yeah,
off you
come
go."
along, yeah.
I think he was and so again, like if you can get to the front, they'll get in trouble in behind. Like Tom said it a million times. It's pure luck, this race.
Yeah.
I fancy Bo Pedro. He's drawn in 16, so it doesn't really fit the draw.
Why do you fancy that?
But he just keeps threatening to win a big one. He was third in the Hunt Cup. He was third behind Remus at York. I think Remus is quite good. And he ran really quite a promising race on Saturday at Ascot when he was down the field, but he was coming through. It looked like he might run into a place in what was, again, quite a hot race. Bullet Point was in it, finished second. And, he got cut off at a very crucial point and was allowed to come in his own time. David O'Mara's won 2 of the last 5 runnings of the race. And he was 5th last year, having had an absolutely awful run through. He missed the start, he was in position Z at the back, and he was never near enough at the finish, finishing 5th. I think he's £1 lower than when he last won at Newmarket, so he's well handicapped. And I think he'll run a big race if the draw doesn't scupper him in 16. But the better drawn one, if you want 2 against the field, which you did ask for, is Greek Order, who's drawn in 2.
Yep.
Is that right? So if they do end up, if it does end up being a big draw bias towards the inside, like it has done many years before, he's another one who just keeps threatening to win a big one, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those horses. I mean, it reminds me of the horse who runs later on the card. Actually, Carry the One for the same yard. Who, just one of those horses who runs in these races time and time again, and just hasn't quite got the split so far. But yeah, obviously ran into one at Ascot. Clearly ran into one in Classic last time out as well, because he suddenly burst into life as well.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier about Sandown, weren't we? All season there's been like this weird thing at Sandown where you just it's very difficult to win from off the pace. And Classic that day got out in front and was cruising too front, and they never looked like getting to him, and maybe he just got Sandowned.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the only horse that did make up any ground was Araseg in that race, but she keeps doing it. But I don't know, Tom. I kept looking at this and thinking Skakuza. I mean, the Curragh is. I think because it's so galloping, you actually forget that it is quite undulating as well. And you've got a 4 or 5 furlong running at the Curragh on an undulating track that suits horses who just keep going and going and going. And is that not going to be what wins this race tomorrow as well? And I kind of think if Skakuza gets a clean break in this, he's just he'd have won the Sussex Stakes, wouldn't he? He's a better horse than Curragh.
Yeah, he could easily do. What do you think about the ground for him? Is he all right? Will he be all right on it?
I don't know. Depends what it is, doesn't it? I mean, that's the other thing. He's not actually run on anything with soft in the.
They weren't. I mean, when he won it, the Qatar 2 starts ago, they said they were going over because of the rain, and when it rained, it helped him, and they've kept him off fast ground since he got injured in the Britannia last year. So could be that's exactly what he wants. I don't know. Sometimes you think these things, and then you're not actually. It's not actually borne out on the track. Yeah. So listen, he could easily win. As I say, if it was an Ascot race, I think I'd be all over him at 5-1. It's not. It's a Goodwood race.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm on the other one at 5-1.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, bizarrely, given that this is a handicap and that'd be a Group 2, he might have more chance in the Goodwood Mile later on in the month than he might in this. And then just one more I will throw. I just had 2. I looked at this and I had 2 on my shortlist. One was Skakuza and the other one was EBT's Guard, who is always on the shortlist. But again, he's always in the wrong place. He's constantly in the wrong place. He should have beat Great Chieftain last year in that 3-year-old handicap. He's got an incredible record in mile handicaps. I think he's running sort of 12 or 13 of them, and he's been either won or placed 8 of them or 9 of them, I think. He was in the wrong place at Newmarket last time out. He was in the wrong place at Ascot before that. He was in the wrong place at Epsom before that. He ran into MyCloud and was ahead of Classic. So, it will drop for him. He's only 4 years old, and that course run last year was right up there. So he was.
You're right, Ross. But look at the prices there. I mean, you've got 10 horses on there, and they're 10-1 between 5 and 10-1. it's a really, really hard race where it's all going to depend on pace and luck. They're hard. If you land on it, well done. If you don't, move on to the next race. That's all you can do. And the one thing I'd say is that when it was soft ground 2 years ago and Johan won, Johan and Darkness got out from outside stalls and dropped on the rail.
Yeah.
And then all the low numbers finished behind them.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they came up the near side on soft ground. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's if you can get out from a high draw, I think you got a chance. I just don't understand last year's race at all. It made no sense to me. But
it's more the exception that proved the rule. Is potentially is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I actually looked at it as well just before I looked at it and thought, Ryan Moore in Big Field Handicaps are good over this course. There's one where he's like, I looked at it, it's quite good. He's 5 winners from 15 rides over a mile at Goodwood in handicaps with double figure runners. And then I looked at it, the 5 winners were drawn 1, 3, 1, 3 and 1. And every horse he's ridden that wasn't drawn 1 or 3 is finished unplaced. So sometimes you look at a stat, you think, oh, that's quite good. Then you look at it and you think, oh, yeah, okay, fair enough. He has got a good record if he's on a good horse drawn low, which I'm sure a lot of jockeys are. But anyway, lies, damn lies and statistics and all that. Let's move on to the King George then, the 5 furlong Group 2 version, of course, not the 1.5 mile middle distance one. Asphora is 11-4 favourite. Time for Sandals, more like time for Wellington Boots is 5-1. Big Mojo 11-2. She's Quality 15-2. Frost at Dawn 15-2. Kurdos 8. Town and Country 11's Night Raider is 12s. Cardam, Celandine, JM Jungle, Spartan Arrow, Clarendon House and Manacan make up the field here for this 5 furlong sprint. And Asphora is your favourite for the Aussies. Last year was a very impressive winner at Ascot after needing her first run, and then probably should have won this after getting a bit of a battering at a crucial point. She's back for revenge. Crucially, she's got that run under her belt, Rodders. She's clearly a horse, and to be fair, if you flew me all the way over to Australia and said, go on, running a race next week, I'd probably need a bit more time as well. So, yeah, she's going to run... I say she's going to run better than Ascot. You shouldn't have to run that much better to win this.
No, she doesn't. No, and she did come on for a run last year, didn't she? I think the thing that rankles with her really is she's just not that good, is she? Yeah, as far as sprinters go, and particularly Australian sprinters, she's quite average, but she's still favourite to beat this bunch of British sprinters.
But the Aussies, even the good Aussie sprinters were better than the good British sprinters, so the average Aussie sprinters are going to be better than the average British sprinters, right?
Well, that was what happened last year, wasn't it, when she won the King Charles, the whatever it is, second, is he? I think he is, yeah. So but do you want to be taking a short price about a horse who is quite average?
Yeah. No, not really.
Not really.
Not a Goodwood in soft ground.
No, and she was beaten in this race under a penalty by Big Evs. Not Mojo, was it? It was Evs.
Yep.
And she was well beaten in the Nunthorpe, wasn't she? So, yes, she was good enough to win at Ascot, but how good is she?
Yeah. Well, the question is how good are the rest? But like
she's
you said,
also like 7-year-old mare.
Yeah. And
we don't know if she's right at her best this year, do we? Because she's only had one run, and it's a long time since we last saw her at her best.
You're probably right. Yeah, but take cover when this is a 9-year-old. Highfield Princess was a 6-year-old mare. It's just sprinters, isn't it? It's just sprinters.
I don't see many 7-year-old mares still knocking about in top class sprints, do you?
No. I'm trying to think of any, but no, probably not. How old? Moonlight Cloud? How old was she when she was still going? But anyway,
I feel Princess was 6 when she won it, wasn't she? But I know what you mean.
Yeah, you don't get that many of them. But anyway, look, she's 2 from 2 in soft ground in Australia. Weirdly, I don't know how ground the soft is over in Australia.
I have no idea,
as it were. But what's top of the pile for you as an alternative?
Oh, yeah, no idea. It's just like the rest of them aren't filling you with joy, are they, or excitement? I mean, Time for Sandals could be anything, to use the cliche. I mean, she, is it? I think Time for Sandals, she was good at Ascot in the Commonwealth Cup, and maybe soft ground over 5 might help her.
Well, and she was ahead behind Wood Shauna at Shanty with Maranoa Charlie back in 4th.
The form's worked out all right, hasn't it?
That was the race that they were 1-2 in the Cosmic Year race over in France. So. Yeah, and it'd been Harry. It's nice to. I mean, enjoying Harry Eustace's emergence in these races because he's clearly a very good trainer.
Yeah, and he had a winner today, didn't he, Harry Eustace? So he's very good, isn't he? And funny enough, I think he's got links to Australia, hasn't he? Didn't he? He spent some time there, didn't he? So learning his trade. So I think she's the most exciting horse in the race. I still think Frost at Dawn might be overpriced. Frost at Dawn beat us for her, of course, at Ascot last time, finishing second in the King Charles. Still quite unexposed over 5. There's a lot of racing over further, and I think that there could be more to come. But another one, we can't be sure about the ground. Probably would prefer it a little bit quicker. Not a race I've got a strong view on, apart from the fact that I think Asfora won't win.
Okay, fair enough. Tom, sprinters, baby.
Yeah, listen, especially on this ground, I don't know where they're going to go. I've seen this race before when it's been like this, and jockeys have gone to the far side. Didn't Cardam go up the far side when he won it? When he won it, and it wouldn't surprise me if a horse like JM Jungle went up the far side and put in a good show. But I thought that just looking at it, Knight Raider was drawn where 11 or 12, and I thought he's going to go bonkers, isn't he? Because he always does. And so that might drag the ones up the near side along a little bit. I don't know if that's a key or not, but I thought that was an angle in. And for that reason, I thought at a huge price, and she's not a huge price anymore, Town and Country might go well for the well-known sprint training star, Henry de Bromhead.
Yeah, but he's a Gavin Cromwell again, isn't he? Like you said about, if you're a good trainer, you can train anything.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just think listen, sprinters are sprinters, aren't they? We see every week something else comes out of the blue. So I was looking for an unexposed one. She did. I don't know how she won at Sandown last time. It was ridiculous. She pulled for 4.5 furlongs, was stuck in a pocket for 4.5 furlongs, and still won. Now the form is no good. It's clearly not good enough to win a race of this quality, even if it is not the greatest sprint ever seen. But she did incredibly well to win, and her pedigree is one of a soft ground horse. Fully, her sister is Romantic Style, who beat Ramatuel on the once she ran on heavy ground. Her other's close relation loves soft ground. I just think she's going to like conditions, and she's quick. So if she gets her toe into the lead, she was 20-25 to 1. I thought she'd go well. I also think quality's got a chance. She's drawn in 8. She's very fast. We've seen front runners all week on the 5 furlong track win at Goodwood. Happened again today. The 2 bolted out in the 5 furlong sprint, and no one even, didn't get near whatever the one was called, Alice Haynes' horse. So she's got a chance too. I think I just thought if Town and Country was to settle in behind Knight Raider, which if she doesn't settle behind Knight Raider, she'll never settle. And she won't be going fast enough to pull. She'll be going too fast to pull. I thought she might just outrun her odds at a big price, because I'm pretty sure she'll like soft ground. And I was just looking for a different form line against all the stuff we've seen all the time before.
Yep, fair. And I just clicked on her relatives. Both close relatives won on soft ground. The Dam won on soft ground as well. So there's a lot of soft ground form in there. Destiny Sounds says, is Tom the reason my nap has halved in price? Destiny Sounds, yes, it is Tom. Blame Tom. He's on Town and Country as the nap. Let's have a look. Dave Brown says, Tom the other day was doubling down on too much emphasis on the draw and then knocking horses due to the draw. Yeah, but that was the Golden Mile, which is the key race. That's the key thing. And loads of people have tipped up one horse who I had a list of, again, we're taking Les on. There were 3 horses here who stood out to me who will love the conditions. One is the one everyone in the chat is saying, which is JM Jungle, who's a 5-year-old trained by the Quins, who have an incredible record in sprints at Goodwood. His last 2 runs actually was career best. He's a 5-year-old coming out of handicaps, but so is American Affair. He's got fantastic soft ground form, course and distance winning form as well. I thought he's a big price at 25 to 1. The other one is Kurdos, who again is another soft ground horse. Clive Cox today, Christoph Sumion. Clive Cox just starting to burst into life. First time cheap pieces on group sprints, quite good actually. Top class milers and whatever we talked about yesterday was rubbish, but 5 furlong sprinters, Group 2, Group 3 and listed races, first time, a 10 winners from 98, and you would have won 75 quid back in a blind. There's been a lot of big prices recently, and he's a proper soft ground horse. And I'll also have a couple of quid on Mannequin, who has run 3 times on soft ground and has won and and placed on the other two. Stevie Donohoe is 2 from 2 on this horse, and it's 125 to 1. So if that wins, Rodders is presenting tomorrow night. So there you go. Again, I know people will say, oh, you've mentioned the entire field, but this is the point. Everyone has different opinions. We're analysing the race. And Mike Boy says Night Raider only seems to run well on slow ground. So there you go. There's loads for you against the field there in the sprint tomorrow. Let's take a breather and jump over to DJ with his thoughts at Galway before we rattle through the last 3.
So we're on to day 5 at the Galway Festival, Ross. I'm going to kick off at 5:30 with the beginner's chase. And I'm going to chance again Sander Clegane for Paul Nolan and Sean O'Keefe. Look, this is actually a really good beginner's chase, especially for the start of August. Sander Clegane, this is his first run over fences since he ran the Grade 1 against Bland's Tower. And he's been holding his own in pretty high calibre over hurdles. Ran quite well for a long way in the Coral Cup, and I think if he's ever going to win over fences, this is going to be the day for Sander Clegane. So I'm with Sander Clegane in the 5:30 at Galway. Moving on to the 6 o'clock, this is the Blazers chase. Moon over Clune was second in the race last year, beating a nose. The photo finish went on for absolutely ages. He's 4 pound higher this year, so he's got a tougher task, but I love the pipe opener in the Midlands National at Kilbeggan. Finished 3rd there. I'd say this has been the plan all year for the Smiths with Moon over Clune, so I went Moon over Clune in the 6 o'clock. And one more for you in the 8:40. Let's go with Empress Alma in the 8:40 for Gavin Cromwell and Gary Carroll. Drops in class here, ran against Teed Up the other night, finished 5th, actually ran really well, was drawn in stall 19, now in stall 9, down in class, loads of pace in the race. I think Empress Alma can win the 8:40. So there's your 3. Empress Alma in the 8:40. We're going for Sander Clegane in the 5:30 and Moon over Clune in the 6 o'clock.
Thank you, Mr. Jennings. Right, that's Galway, 6 o'clock for tomorrow. Right, 3 more at Goodwood to rattle through, starting off with the conditions race, a 9-furlong conditions race at Glorious Goodwood, second running of this. It's a slightly odd one on the card, and takes quite a few horses away from other races like Godwinson, who was entered in the Golden Mile, but hey, who knows, eh? Who knows? Liberty Lane 2-1, Godwinson 9-2, Haunted Dream 11-2, Fox Legacy 11-2, 7-1 bar those. Tom Segal. It's a 9-furlong conditions race on the telly. Who knew? What did you fancy in this, if anything?
Really hard, isn't it? You can make a case. Once again, it's one of those Goodwood races. I fancied about 5 of them. I thought Liberty Lane is obvious, back on soft ground. Godwinson likes soft ground, finishes strongly. I think the extra furlong shouldn't be a problem. Haunted Dream's got very good Goodwood form. Got absolutely murdered at Ascot last time when he finished last. Fox Legacy comes off of winning the John Smith's Cup. Socialite might not like the ground, but is an unexposed horse, and Carry the One won the big race on soft ground at Ascot last season. So who knows? I thought my pin landed on Haunted Dream, just simply because of his record at these sort of tracks. I think he'll like soft ground, and you can throw out his Ascot run. So that would be my choice, but it's not a race I've got any great feeling for. Ross, what about you, my friend?
Again, I just kept looking at Carry the One. He's just a proper soft guy. All I've got is the vision of him winning at Ascot last year, where he just ate up the ground over a mile in soft ground, and I just thought the way he finished there, he's gonna absolutely love this. He's got Subi on, who's a classic, patient hold-up jockey. He was in the saddle at Ascot at last year as well, and I thought 7-1 each way was the one for me. Carry the One.
Carry the One. Okay. I like Jeff Coons at a big price. He finished 3rd at Sandown last time in another weird race where the leader led all the way and the second led was second all the way and he was 3rd all the way, but the time was really good and he ran well in the Hunt Cup. He was 8th, sipping a few horses from the Hunt Cup tomorrow. And the other one, I thought Fox Legacy had a huge chance if the ground isn't too bad, but we just don't know how to handle the ground. But at the odds, Jeff Coons.
And again, you're a fan of his art? You like his modern art?
Oh, is he an artist?
He's an artist as well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We had the old Matisse Pizarro chat earlier in the year.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Another thing I've learned from you, Ross.
There you go. Very different artist, Jeff Coons. But anyway, moving on, the 420, the Nursery here. Shaman Champion, Old is Gold, Golden Brown are 4-1 co-favourites here. Try Stormcat is 6-1 and 9-1 bar those. A 6-furlong Nursery with 12 of them running. And again, another race where I thought if I'm honest, the favourites come out, the Appleby horses come out, and there were a couple of horses at massive prices. I thought, this market just looked a bit odd to me, but Rod, does anything in the 420?
Yeah, I really fancied one in it. Tri-Storm Cat, it's called. Won a race last time at Pontefract, which was a really weak race, but did it well. And straight after the race, Charlie Johnston, who we know the Johnston team love to target Goodwood, pinpointed this race, or it might have been the 7 furlong Nursery actually, but he pinpointed a race at Goodwood for Tri-Storm Cat. It might work out well that he's in the 6 furlong race because the soft ground is going to really suit him. Like, he's a half-brother to Study of Man, who won the French Derby, I think, on soft ground, and he's got 2 other really highly rated relations who also handled soft ground in France. So I think he's really going to relish testing conditions, Tri-Storm Cat, and I said Johnston loves a winner at Goodwood, but he's not had one yet, has he?
He's not had one yet. He went about as close as it's possible to go today, didn't he, with Mahaba Gaya, but not quite yet. Did have a win at Redcar yesterday, though, so you know. Glorious red car. Tom, anything in the Nursery? Is this one of your, it's not one of your races, is it?
Well, you can't leave us on that tantalising edge, Ross, and go, look, I've got 2 at massive price. What do you guys think? I want to know what you think. Come on, give us the 2.
Look, to me, there were 2 horses who I look very well handicapped and with the daft prices to me. One was Jan Steen, who I'd almost make favourite. Was giving £5 to First Legion at York, who's a listed horse rated 95. Was Upside's Wise Approach, who's now rated 109. The horse who finished 5th was running the Robert Pappan, is now rated 102. And the 9th has got up to a mark of 85. So Jan Steen, handicap debut for Carl Burke and David Egan off 87. I was looking at it thinking, this is mad. This should never be this price. And the other one was Blue Orbit, who won run over 6 furlongs at Chepstow behind Italica again. Chartier and Sir Albert were in behind. They're rated in 90s. The winner's rated 99 now. Came to Goodwood to break its maiden, then went to Sandown behind Stayer in a listed race and is off a mark of 82. Those 2 just look really, really well handicapped. They've been running against listed and group horses. I know 2-year-old ratings can be a little bit dodgy, but I think the handicappers let them off a little bit, if I'm honest. And Dr. Newland and Jamie Insole in particular this week having a right old time, aren't they? So there you go.
Well, I'm with you on Blue Orbit. I don't know much about the other one, but I can guarantee you there's no way on God's earth Rodders would have called him Jan Steen. He would have called him Jan Steen.
All right, fair enough.
Jan Steen.
Jan Steen.
There's no way
name, isn't it?
the pronunciation right, would he? And called it like Jan Steen,
Is
like
he,
you did.
who's he? Is he a painter or a cyclist? Or
He's a Dutch painter, baby.
A painter,
He's
another
a Dutch
one.
painter, yeah.
Brilliant.
Did you prefer Jan Steen or Jeff Koons?
It's a man, is it? Jan. It's not like Janet.
It's a man, Derek, yes.
Right.
That's where I was going, Ross. You see, well, that's where I was going. There's
Yeah.
no way I would have called him Jan.
No. fair enough.
No, I like Blue Orbit. I just thought he's from the family of Blue Point. Loads of pace in the pedigree. Don't know if he'll handle the ground, but he's by Star Man, who's making a great start, and the Insoles are having a great week. So he was the one for me.
All right, okay. Last race then, at 4:55 at Goodwood, a 1.3 furlong handicap. Keep us guessing with the distances, don't they? It's at Goodwood. And Munsif, not Munsef, either won this. 11-4. Yabber is 5-1. Sea of Kings 6-1. Madawi 13-2. Push the Limit 15-2. 17-2 bar. Those again, not one of your races, Tom. But did anything pop out of the page at you?
Well, the first 3 in the market are all by See the Stars, and traditionally, and I know it's not a 100% thing, but most of his horses prefer fast ground. So I was quite keen to take them on. I thought Madawi would run well. Second earlier in the week for the Johnsons, sort of flew home late after getting in a bit of trouble. I thought they might revert to making the running. I wondered if they were trying to set the race up for Novelista, but he missed the break, and I wonder whether Madawi might revert to making the running. And if so, I think he'll be hard to beat.
All right, Madawi it is. Rodders.
Really fancy Warhawk. He ran, well, he put together a sequence, including at tracks like Chester, Epsom, really tricky tracks, just like Goodwood. His best effort came on good good to soft in places, ground, so we know he loves soft ground. And last time he was disappointed in Newmarket, never got into it, but it was quick ground. I don't think he acted on the conditions. I think you'll see him bounce back here. Oisin Murphy takes the ride for Simon and Ed Crisford. So I'm quite confident actually that Warhawk is going to run well. A big old price, Ross. What do you reckon?
Yeah, he was one of two on my list. He was one of, yeah,
Who's the other?
I agree. I think he's hugely overpriced. I think again he'll have that fast finishing, that strong finishing effort in this. The other one is Mighty Boy, who won on fast ground last time out, despite the fact that his pedigree suggests he will. I mean, Zarak has got an unbelievable record in bad ground, both on the flat and over jumps. Yeah, I thought he would. I thought he was potentially. People look at that run last time out and think he won't like the ground, but I actually think he won in spite of the ground last time out. So, yeah, a couple against the field at bigger prices. Yeah, lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Right, quickly on the chat. Doghouse Riley says shocking card at Goodwood. I think we did all right to cover it in an hour then, fair enough. And Dave Brown says wouldn't carry the one like a bigger field than this. Possibly, but it's going to be tough to get home, so it might well help him. All right, it might have been a shocking card, but I thought it was a pretty good show overall. And we'll have an ad and then the naps to close it off. Best bets on a heavy / good to firm / good to sloth / something or other card at Goodwood tomorrow. Graeme Rodway, tell us your best bet.
I'm going to go for Stormcat 420 Goodwood.
In the nursery. Lovely stuff. Tom Segal, for you?
A Town and Country. I'll take a chance on her in the sprint.
All right, lovely stuff. I'll go for Thursday's Child in the 420 at Southall. Sorry. It's genuinely the one I most fancy tomorrow, I think. Carry the one at Goodwood, I think. Michael Bale, Christoph Soumi on soft ground, staying strong and late, hopefully. DCI Rodway, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Ross.
I know you've got a lot of paperwork to catch up on, so I'll let you get on with that. And Tom, thanks for your efforts this week, and we'll see you for York, my good man.
Yeah, am I not on tomorrow, Ross? I dropped off. Am I got the subs bench?
You are. You've been hooked for extra time. Paul Keeley's back in the saddle.
Good man. Good man. Someone who understands Goodwood.
Someone who understands Goodwood as much as it could be understood. So, right, see you tomorrow night where we'll be going through the Stewards' Cup, amongst others.